I have to make I have to admit something here. I kind of made a mistake. I screwed up. But it's not the belt system. This works. Works mint. But every time I run it, it keeps stalling. So then I start back up. It runs for a couple seconds, stalls again. So I'm like, what's going on? Right? I'm thinking, I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, oh, it seems like fuel problems, right? Like it's not getting fuel. So I take the carburetor off. You see I got the air filter off. I kind of screwed it back on. Let it sit like that. Let me tell you, I took the carburetor off. Carburetor looks clean, beautiful inside. Nothing wrong. Okay, put it back together. And in the intake, you can see the gasket on the inside of the intake was kind of sticking inside of the intake hole, kind of like it was a little bit smaller than the intake hole, kind of. So you could see the blue gasket sticking inside the intake. I didn't like that. So I decided just to take that off. I was going to put a Zenoa gasket on there, and took it off, and sure enough, unfortunately, the Zenoa gasket does not fit on the 32cc Fuelie. So I had to order a gasket, a $2 gasket with $3 shipping. Yeah, ridiculous, but it says it'll be here by like Saturday, supposedly. We'll see. That'd be nice if it came in by Saturday, but I don't know. But now I got no intake gasket, so I can't run it. But you're like, oh, wow, you can't run it. It keeps stalling, right? Well, I was thinking, I'm like, well, man, what is it? You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the carburetor. The intake wasn't causing the problem. I just didn't like where I could see the gasket inside there. So I'm like, what's causing the problem? So I Google it and stuff. And, you know, I think the people say, you know, those carburetors are kind of junk. They have problems with them. Well, I don't really think so. The carburetor's clean. I don't think it's a carburetor. And until the coils can go bad. They can get weak and they can go bad. All right, well, maybe it's a coil. Well, maybe. I started thinking, I'm like, oh, it's got a kill switch, right? I'm like, maybe I'm hitting the kill switch button on the controller by accident. Because it's like on the grip. So I'm like, well, maybe I'm hitting the kill switch button by accident. So I decided to turn the truck on and the controller on. And, you know, the controller shows the voltage on the receiver. And the voltage went down below 4 volts. I was like, shit, that's what it is, man. It's low voltage cutoff. It's killing the ignition because it's low voltage. The kill switch is working. I didn't watch the voltage on the controller when I was driving the truck, which was a mistake. So next time I will definitely watch the voltage from now on. So it's kind of a warning to beware of, you know, if you have a controller that shows you voltage, you kind of should use it, you know. And I wasn't even paying attention to it. And I feel like an idiot. But, you know, it's a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. But, you know, so now I'm waiting for the gasket to come in so I can't even use the truck. So obviously the battery needs to be charged. It's the battery that came with it, and I don't really know how old it is. So it might need to be replaced. The Genesis over there has a busted transmission, but it does have a brand new battery on it, but it's a weird hump pack. You can see it right there. If you can see on there, it's like zip tied right behind the shock tower right there. I don't know if it'll fit in the Rampage or not, but I could try if I need it. But it probably just needs to be charged. But, you know, I made a mistake. So now I can't even show you guys the belt drive work, and it works mint. But I was having that problem. It kept shutting off because the voltage was low. And I usually, you know, I put it on the charge before I take them out usually. But I'm like, I don't really need it because I charged it, you know, a few days ago. But no, it needs to be charged. So I think I'm going to end up needing to replace the hump pack. But we'll get there when we get there. For now, I'm waiting for the gasket to come in. So the gasket comes in. I'll change the gasket and I'll make the video. And of course, I'll charge the hump pack first. But hopefully the hump pack's going to work. And if it doesn't, worst case scenario, I'll fit that Genesis, the one from the Genesis on there somehow. But yeah, so I made a mistake. You know, I have to admit it. You know, made a mistake. So I wanted to show you guys this belt drive. It's awesome. It works mint. The thing flies. Look at my little custom cover there, huh? That's a piece of a red cutting board. I used a heat gun to bend it and a soldering iron with a junk tip to melt the plastic to plastic weld it on. See if we get us a good little view of that. Yeah, right there, that's a cutting board. They come up pretty good. I mean, it's not. My son's like, oh, you should sand that, Dad. Oh, yeah, I probably should. Maybe I will in the future, but for now, it's good. And there's a more mountain hole right here. So I could add a tab over here to hold that on there, but it seems pretty sturdy, so not really worried about it for now. At least it's covered, because you don't want rocks to get in there. I need to seal the back right here. There's a little plastic piece, but there's a little gap right there. I don't know if I can get this in there. You can see that gap in there. There's a little gap. You probably can't really see too well, but there's a gap back there. But at least it's covering it. It'll keep most of the dirt out. I could probably put a little bit of silicone or something on there if I want to plug up that hole. I probably should. Just some temporary stuff, you know. But yeah, and I had to heat up the cover with a heat gun, and then push this on a bottle so this would push out, because I needed more room for this pulley. It was just barely rubbing on the cover. So I heated it up, and if you look, it's a little bit distorted because I made it push out. I don't know if I can get that on camera or not, but hard to show that. But it kind of looks like a top of a bottle, right? Because I kind of heated it up, and I made this part come out more, just enough so I have clearance. And then of course the bottom didn't fit at all because this bottom pulley is way bigger than the original gear that used to go there. So I had to make this part. So I cut it in half and I made this, you know. And this I just heated up and bent it like that. And that's it. It worked really good. We plastic weld bumpers at work, so I'm pretty familiar with plastic welding. Not a big deal. I don't have a 3D printer, but I do have 2 hands and a soldering iron, right? So there you go. So I'm dying to show you guys this thing go, man. But I made a mistake, and oopsie. So, I don't know. That's just me making my mistake and admitting it. You know, sometimes you just make mistakes. I don't know. I kind of feel like a moron, but I'm dying to drive this thing, you know. And I've been driving this thing, and I haven't cleaned it yet. See, it's covered in mud. A little wet last time I used it. And I've been making videos of me driving this thing. Not any of you guys are getting bored of it or what, but I retuned it again using Eastside RC's tuning video of how far I set the tunings and everything, because I like to play with it, and I'm like, you know, I'm playing with the tuning, and I'm like, just kind of not running too great. I guess I'm not, you know, I'm not the 2-stroke genius or nothing, right? So I go back to Eastside RC's video, and I reset the tuning to the way he said, and the thing's running mint. So I'm going to make another video of this thing running one more time. Then I don't know, you know, I'm running things to film. I'm sorry, I just, things are real tough right now, and I'm just not making a whole lot of money, so I can't afford to buy much stuff. I had bought a rim, and I had already broke it, so I had to put one of the old ones back on. I'm not really happy about it, but what you going to do, right? So, I don't know. I'm just going to make another video of this thing running again, because that's all I got to make a video of. And hopefully you guys like this little update of the belt drive. I'm sorry. People want me to sell the belt drives. You know, if I was a machinist or I had access to a lathe, I would make more pulleys and then sell them. You know, a pulley and a belt as a kit. But I just don't have access to a lathe. My friend that works at a factory, but he's quitting. And before he left, he made me those pulleys. So I'm like, if the gear ratio didn't work out and I need a different pulley, I'm out of luck, because he doesn't work at that factory anymore, so he can't use the lathe. So I don't even have access to make any more pulleys. I know my friend Wallet Vacuum is a machinist, or a machinist at home anyways, and he has some machining capabilities, but you know, for me to mass produce pulleys and sell a kit, I just don't have the ability to. And if I want to do that, I would have to remove that and copy it and make sure it fits again before I sell them, you know. I just don't have a way of making them. I'm sorry. I wish I could. It worked out mint too, though. So as soon as I can, I'll make a video showing you of it moving. Hopefully you guys, you know, enjoy this little update, and I'll stay confident but humble. Peace.
Oh my gosh!